All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our training on preschool book fairs. This is something that I think I'm pretty passionate about getting out there and doing a few of these. It really gets you out in the community. It gets you reconnected with our books, reconnected with kids and what we love about our books, and seeing kids interacting with our books and holding them and walking away with them. And so it's really something that can be great for your business, not just money wise, but just for boosting your excitement for your business. So yes, I am recording, everybody asking. Okay, so first I just wanted to kind of walk through what I did at my book fair. There are a lot of people who have done these. We've got a lot of girls on our team, especially team leaders, who've done some great preschool book fairs. I'm by no means the only expert in our group on it. We've got some great experts in our group, but this is what really worked well for me. So first, I sent home this flyer, and I sent this home to everybody in the school. There were about 200 kids in the school, and I just put one in everybody's cubby. This was just a regular sized piece of paper. I put the template to this, the Canva template to this. The link to it is in the comments of BookBuzz, of the search the hashtag preschool book fair. I put it in the comments of the preschool book fair post that I made in BookBuzz. If you are not in BookBuzz, then your director is, and she can get that for you. Okay, and I think most of them have posted it in your group anyway. But okay, so I did this a lot. I printed this out in my office for my other job, so I do have the luxury of not having to pay for that. I don't know how much it would be at like an Office Depot or anything like that. I wouldn't do any special size of paper because that's going to mess up your pricing. But a lot of people have told me that their preschools will print these out for them. They just send the file to the director and they will print out a couple hundred of them, especially if it's just one page and not anything fancy. So it's got my times here. I went from 7:45 to 8:30 in the mornings. That was at drop off. 11 o'clock till noon. They have like a midday drop off for some of the kids, so I was there for that. And then 2:45 to 5:30. That was where I got the bulk of my orders, is at that evening drop off. At the bottom it says, all orders earn free books for Williams School. Shop your teacher's wish list. Books are in stock to take home today. Because people have done book fairs at this preschool in the past, and they've just taken orders, and I wanted them to make sure that they knew they were taking the books home today, and that made a huge difference. The book fairs that took orders have hit about $200 or $300 at this same school. This one, with cash and carry, $2,500. Big difference. And I think there can be some great order book fairs. I don't think that that's just completely something that you should just completely not do, but this cash and carry worked a lot better. Okay. Then I put one of our flyers with the elementary learning or early learning in order form, and I stapled that to the flyer. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to do it again because I got so few orders from this. I think if you're going to send out flyers with order forms, do it separate from the book fair. And that's how Scholastic does it. And after doing it this way, I can see why Scholastic probably does it the other way. Because people are either going to come to the book fair or they're going to place an order. They're not going to do both. They're not going, if they have the option to come to the book fair, they're going to do that way more than ordering on this order form. So if you're doing an actual book fair, there's no point in doing this order form. I did get a few orders this way. It just wasn't worth the time that it took me to print this out, cut this order form, staple it all together. It took me so long to do all that. Honestly, wouldn't do it again. But I might do it like if they let me do if they don't want me to do a fall book fair next year, I might just do a fall order form and a spring book fair, something like that. Okay, so I did that, and then for the 4-year-old classes, so this group has the 4-year-old classes have 4 and 5-year-olds there. I stapled a strip of paper at the top that said, "Dear parent, this year the 4-year-old classes get a hands-on experience with our Usborne Book Fair. On Wednesday, April 25th, your child's class will visit the book fair, where each child will get the opportunity to explore books on his or her own and shop our great selection. If you would like your child to purchase books from the book fair, please send money with your child on Wednesday. We look forward to helping them each pick out the perfect books to take home. Thank you for supporting Williams School, Sarah Duke. So I've stapled that at the top of every single one of these. Now, I did this book fair the week after they returned from spring break, and I did it on a Tuesday and Wednesday. I did it on a Tuesday, Wednesday because there are some kids at this school that only go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I wanted to make sure and catch them. So we only advertised on that Monday because they were in spring break the week before. So we literally advertised on a Monday, and I was there on a Tuesday. So it did not take a ton of advertising. So if you want to do a book fair, like in the next couple of weeks, prevent the summer slide book fair or something to promote activity books for the summer or reading during the summer, you still have time. Start today, but you still have time because you do not have to advertise for a week in advance. Literally did it the day before. Okay, so put that letter on the top. And then I also had the school send out an email. So they sent out a group email that said, join us for the book fair. The books are in stock and ready to go home with you. Again, I put the link to this in the comments of Book Buzz. So search the hashtag preschool book fair and you will find this. I also, in that letter, said that your teachers have also created wish lists for their classroom. You're welcome to shop these wish lists when you visit the book fair. Okay. So I am going to share my screen with you to show you how I did the wish list. Okay, so right here, this is how I did the teacher wish list. I've done wish lists in the past where I had like a piece of paper with all of the books that they wanted listed there, and it does not have the same effect as having the books right there. And you can stack them if you don't have buckets, but I would suggest investing in some cute buckets like this. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're $6 each, I believe. And I have little labels on the side that have chalk on them with the name of the teacher. And not all the teachers came by and made a wish list. Actually, only like 3 out of 12 did. So I just put bestsellers in there for that age. So most of those are ones that I just dumped in there that I thought were bestsellers for that age. And that's what I called the teacher wish list. And people shopped these like crazy. Anytime somebody would check out, it'd be like, make sure you go and check your teacher's wish list. And they'd go and grab a book from it. I had some people would be like, okay, I don't really need any more books, but let's just finish out this teacher's entire wish list. I'm like, okay, they would literally empty out the entire bucket for that teacher. So this is a really highly recommend making your teacher wish list really visual and fun, because people shop visually. That's just, we all know that from retail. So make sure that you are doing that. Okay, let's see if there's any, I wanted to show you, I can't just move it out of the way. Okay. I wanted to show you this yard sign. So I got these from Vistaprint. The Vistaprint link is in your back office under like partners, resource partners, something like that. It's up in the top drop down menu. I really liked these. I just got 2 of them. I put one at the corner of like where everyone turns in and one at the front door. I just thought it was a fun little reminder on the day of to come visit the book fair. Okay. Someone said that they got bins at the dollar store for $1 each for those wish lists. Whatever you can find, I think the visual buckets are just really good for people to just go and clean out their teacher's bucket for a wish list. Okay, one thing, and the thing that really helped with this book fair is what I was talking about earlier, is letting the kids shop. I sold about $650 in an hour and a half just from the 4-year-olds coming to shop. Their parents all sent like $20 or $30. Some sent like up to $50, and they would come in with their money and like pick out their books. And I marketed it to the director as a good lesson on decision making and budgeting. And so she was all for it. She's like, yeah, I think that'd be great. I don't think you could do it with younger kids than 4 and 5. They were still like, you really have to budget with them and talk them out of books, and you know, if they were out of their budget. So I don't think you can do it for much younger, but you definitely want to do it for elementary schools if you are an ESR and want to do elementary schools. And then I would recommend it for older preschoolers because it was really, really fun. So not only did a lot of the parents send the kids money, but then the kids would come back. So say they had $20 at the book fair. They would get their parents at pickup and be like, I didn't get the bug book that I really wanted, and bring the parents back by. And a lot of times they would buy the bug book too. And so it would bring the kids back in, even though they'd already spent some money. So just doing that probably sold me over $1,000 by the time those kids came back. If the teacher has some sort of group texting app, that really helped. One of my teachers did. And so she sent out a group text to everyone the night before to remind people to send their book fair money for their kids to shop. And every single one of those kids had money. The other classes, it was more like 50-50. So for one of those classes, the teacher just sent down the kids who had money and the rest stayed back and played or whatever. And so that was good. For the class that brought all of their kids, even if they didn't have money, we read them a book, we gave them bookmarks and stickers. So nobody was walking away empty-handed, even if they didn't have money. And a lot of those kids who didn't have money, they brought their parents to the book fair afterwards. So a lot of that was great marketing. I had everyone got a sticker. So that was great for marketing as well, because when their parents picked them up, they had a sticker on. And so they would come by and drop by the book fair if they hadn't already. I think those are, my main tips for this. Let's see, the wish list buckets. And yeah, so I'm going to just open it up to questions now. I see you can put it in the comments or unmute yourself and ask. But someone asked how much the signs were. I ordered some others. I think I ended up paying $60 on Vistaprint. You want to make sure and do it when there's discounts, because Vistaprint's always running discounts. But I had other stuff in my bucket when I was ordering that. So I want to say the signs were $20 each and come with the stands. I want to say they're $20 each. And then I maybe got them 20% off or something like that because I used a Vistaprint code. What room did y'all use to house the book fair at the school? We used like a foyer, so it wasn't actually a room. That I just draped tablecloths or sheets over my books overnight because it is a church, and so there were people there while they were gone. I mean, I wasn't too worried about it. I'm like, if you steal books, then fine, whatever. But I just laid some stuff over it, and it was fine. It was no big deal. Our preschool has a drive-through drop-off and pick-up. How do you suggest I get them to come in for the book fair? I would try to coordinate a book fair with an event that they already have where people are already in, like a grandparents' day or muffins for mom or something like that, where they're bringing, especially if they're bringing grandparents in. Oh my goodness. That's what I would try to do. Other than that, you would want to do that, the kids shopping as much as possible. I would even maybe try to get the 3-year-olds to come in and shop, because otherwise I think that would be a really hard thing to get, is to get people who are used to just dropping off to actually come in. And always set up a website link. I did do that. I set up a link that they sent out in the email that people could shop from. Again, didn't get a lot of orders from it, but might as well set it up. I set it up as an e-show because I was afraid I wasn't going to hit the $250 minimum to close it out as an e-fair. And I just paid the tax on it when I closed it out. So you can kind of decide whether you want to do that or not. All right, how much cash change did you bring for the cash and carry? I think I went to the ATM and got like $200 in cash and like ones and fives. I rounded everything so they were tax-free. So if it was a $13.99 book, that was just $14. You need a lot of fives and ones because a lot of kids get a $14.99 book. Most adults paid with credit card. Do you need to buy the entire? I got consignment. So Jenny, I got all consignment. So This was left over from a Christmas booth, and I got new consignment, so I don't know exactly how much I had in consignment and all that, but so what I did is it sold like, so figure out how much your organization gets in free books. So say it sells $2,000. Then that means your organization gets $1,000 in free books. So what I did is just gave them everything that was left over at the end of the book fair. I was like, this is all yours. I divided it up based on ages, and I was like, give these to all the teachers. This is all yours. And so that was like, they still had about $400 in free books, even after I gave them all the rest of my inventory. And so for that, I ordered for them when I reconciled my consignment to get their free books. Any tips on getting a preschool who already does a Scholastic book fair in the spring to do an Usborne book fair in the fall? I just show them how we don't have, I mean, I'm in the process of trying to talk a school who does Scholastic into doing an Usborne book fair.
That'll be helpful if I don't manage and I work 40 hours a week. I mean, to make.
So I'm not saying I'm an expert on that. I just like to show them that we don't have characters, so we don't have a lot of kids coming in and buying a book just because it's Paw Patrol. Our books are more durable. I just try to focus on that. Our rewards, I think, are a little bit better than Scholastic. Someone has told me Scholastic gives a 40% return in free books, and we give a 50%. So you could focus on that. You could also maybe propose a $5 book fair. It's a little bit harder for preschool to do a $5 book fair because there aren't a lot of preschool books that are $5. There are a lot of elementary books that are $5, but those beginning young reader nonfiction books are $5. Some of the mini phonics readers are $2.50. You could maybe try to get in by doing that, but that doesn't really showcase our best preschool books, in my opinion. So I would not love to do that, but if that would get you your foot in the door, then maybe. Have you talked to them about it at all? Or are they just completely against it because they don't want to do another book fair, or they just love Scholastic, or what? But I would just focus on how different we are, and that it could be just a completely different type of book fair for them. Oh, so Julie said that her daughter's librarian said that Scholastic charges shipping. So that's good to know. Like, we can offer free shipping. When you put their $400 rewards and you don't pay for shipping and tax. Well, it depends on if your organization is tax-free. This was a tax-free school, so I used their tax-free ID. So I didn't pay tax, and there's no shipping on book fair orders as long as they're $250. I did not get any pictures of my setup when I went. I think I might have a picture of one of the shelves, maybe. Not sure, but no, I completely dropped the ball on taking any pictures. I know there's a ton of pictures from people who do way more book fairs than I do, in our groups and things like that. So the $5 beginning readers sold super well. Here, I'll share my screen and show this part. But honestly, these are books that didn't sell that well, to tell you the truth. I ended up giving these to most of the teachers. Okay, so these books here actually didn't sell that well. The picture puzzle books did when kids would come to shop. They wanted an I Spy book. Fairy tales down at the bottom. I sold out of my fairy tale books. My big books eventually sold out, but these at the top, all you need to know before you start school, Alfie and Bet's ABCs, my first 100 words, Lift the Flat book, Colors and Lift the Flat Numbers, and Alphabet Picture Book. None of those sold. And so I ended up giving them to the teachers, and the teachers loved it, but I don't know what it was about those that didn't sell. The animal, let's see. What was that? This set, yeah, this Usborne Beginners Animal Set, it's $45, and so you can sell them for $5 each. Those sold really well, especially for kids that would get a $14.99 book but had the $20 bill. They could go and pick out one more animal book And so those were really good sellers. Phonics readers were great to buy as the big set and then sell for, because they normally are $7 books, but if you do them in that big phonics reader set and divide them up, you could get them from like $5 or $6 and sell them that way. Those sold really well. My Billy adventure books sold well. The teachers really liked a lot of my story books, like Boy, Ava's Spectacles. The kids weren't necessarily drawn to those as much. They liked the animals. They liked Billy books. I think what else sold? I mean, All Better, of course, sold well. Nibbles, Ludwig with the 3D glasses sold well. Do you have any duplicates of books in your original consignment? If you had leftover consignment, yes, I had duplicate books. If you had leftover consignment and gave that to the preschool, and how did you eliminate giving duplicates? I still gave duplicates out because they have 12 teachers. So they'd give one to a 3-year-old teacher and one to a 4-year-old teacher, or one to keep in the library and one for the teacher I have. So I didn't worry about that. I don't think I ever had any more than 2, though. I don't think I gave anybody 3, if anything. No, I don't have a document to keep track. I'm not gold enough to keep track with it all. I know people do, and they keep track of all their inventory, and that is wonderful for them, but no, I don't keep track of it. Are you planning to do about following up with the parents who bought? I don't really, I mean, I guess I've got some, email addresses maybe from my Square account, because I took their credit cards based on Square, but I don't have major follow-up to do with those parents. Honestly, I mean, it helps for being known around town, and when they're invited to a Facebook party or see me at a booth and stuff like that, I see a lot of them again, but I don't have a good way to follow up with them unless they ordered online, which again, we're not very many people. Yes, I always stick a business card in their package, and I sticker all of my books. So I just get address, like return address labels, the branded ones that are on Vistaprint. And instead of putting my address, I just put, I've got some around here. I just put my name. Yeah, here it is. So these are what I've got. So it just has the Osborne logo there, and it says Sarah Duke, osbornebooksite.com. SarahMDuke@gmail.com, call or text, and it has my phone number. So those are on the back of every one of my books. So, I mean, I guess that's a little bit of follow-up. Oh, and I got those the Osborne sacks that you can get from our back office. I definitely recommend those because they are really good quality and they have our logo on the outside, so it's good advertising. So when parents see other parents walking in and out with our Osborne sacks, it helps remind people to come to the book fair. So I highly recommend getting those. I recommend getting a good bookshelf off of Amazon if you plan to do a few of these. Again, not necessary. I would say every time you do a book fair, plan on investing in something, like either the bins for the wish list, a nice bookshelf, tablecloths for your tables, yard signs for outside the preschool. Like, you don't have to get all of those things the very first time you do a book fair and make zero money off of your very first book fair, but those are things you're going to use time and time again, so they are good investments. So I recommend getting at least one thing every time you do a book fair, every time you do an event, because you're going to use a lot of those things for just booth events too, not just book fairs. All right. What else? Good questions so far. All right, well, I hope you guys are out there doing some preschool book fairs. They're a really fun way to see if that's something that you want to do as an educational services representative. There are some big sales in schools. I know I've got downlines who do book fairs at like elementary schools that sell $10,000 in just one book fair, and it's a crazy amount of work, but it is so worth it. I mean, that's 10,000 trip points toward going toward the free trip just in a few days of a book fair. So it's not just about the commission, it's about the free trips and the home office challenges and the fun things like that. How do you approach a preschool? So this is my daughter's preschool. My sons went there before, so I know the director pretty well, and I just straight up asked her, and she was like, yeah, sure, I'll support whatever y'all do. And so it was super easy to get into. I would go and just ask to meet the director. I don't have a flyer that I necessarily take or anything like that, but I a lot of times use one school to help motivate the other one. I'll be like, St. James is really loving our books and really loving our book fairs. So that's like the competitor preschool. And so they're like, well, if St. James is doing it, then we need to do it. And so use them in competition with each other and say, you know, I've got this preschool and they're loving it, so I thought you guys would too. And the parents are loving it, so I think your parents would love it too. Use that when you go and approach them. Email them, but email them to ask for a time to come and talk. Don't necessarily give them all of the information over email. Be prepared if they do ask for something over email to send it to them. Do not send them anything lengthy. All they really need to know is that they get 50% back in free books, and their teachers can make wish lists, and you would love to have their 4 and 5-year-olds to come and shop and have like a fun shopping experience and hands-on experience. Focus on that kind of stuff. You don't have to give them every detail about the history of Usborne and why our books are better and our 50% replacement policy and 50% return on book fairs, or you can take cash if you want to take cash. I don't ever offer cash to anybody. If they ask, I'll give it to them, but I don't offer it to them. It's so much easier to just do free books, and it's such a better deal. They don't care about all that. Just give them the basics and what it could look like for their school, what it could look like for those teachers to make wish lists, what it could look like for those kids to come in and shop. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to hear. They don't want all of the teeny tiny details, so don't stress about that. But yeah, start at your kid's own preschool. That's the number one place to start for sure. All right. Well, it was good chatting with you all. Message me if you have any other questions. And I hope to see lots of pictures of some preschool book fairs in this next month and setting up for the fall and getting excited about doing some in the fall. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.